Hi, this is Drew Schiller, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to use vocal mirroring, or as it's sometimes more commonly referred to, verbal mirroring, to get what you want when you're using the phone. So, in my last video, I talked about mirroring body language, and my old pal Sydney from high school wrote a comment to me on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, great video, Drew, but I used to use this all the time in sales, but now I actually work mostly on the phone, but I still use this technique called verbal mirroring, where we match the tone and the intensity and the jargon of the person speaking." And I said, "That's exactly right." And so I was talking to a few people about it, and they were like, "Wow, I hadn't heard of vocal mirroring before." So this is actually something that I learned from my mom, who's a public relations expert, and she's dealt with a lot of different people on the phone. And the basic premise behind vocal mirroring is you want, or verbal mirroring, is that you want to make the other person feel like, just like with the body language mirroring, make the other person feel like you are in their same state. So, for example, if you call somebody on the phone and you're making a sales call, or just maybe you want to get some information, could be a tech support call. I use it all the time on tech support, and the person on the other phone answers, so and so, this is Sarah, and you say, "Hi, Sarah. This is Drew. I just wanted to find out if you guys are interested in this type of thing." And you kind of match that intensity. That's sort of a silly example, but that would be much better than this person saying, "This is Sarah," and you're like, "Hey, Sarah, I've got this really great thing for you. You gotta check it out." She's gonna be like, "I have no idea what this person wants from me," right? So, and vice versa. If the person answers the phone, they're like, "Hey, this is John. What can I do for you?" You want to be very direct and to the point, and really give them the facts up front, because that's sort of the state that they're in. And you can slowly, with verbal mirroring, bring them back, just like with body language mirroring. You can bring them back to a point where they're at a more conversational tone, and that works really well. So the one other thing you have to consider when you're doing verbal mirroring is that really your voice and your inflections are the only way for you to communicate with the person, and sometimes you have to actually disarm that person when they're super aggressive. So this actually happens a lot when I get phone calls. A lot of times it'll either be maybe an inexperienced salesperson or someone who's looking for information who doesn't really want to be calling you. And a lot of times that it's a kind of a weird intensity. I had this exact experience 2 days ago, and I got a call from a very nice woman, Alice, who works at a nonprofit organization here in Iowa City. And she called me and she goes, "Hi, Drew, this is Alice from such and such organization. I just really want to know how much you charge for doing a banner design." And first of all, I don't really do banner designs. So my initial reaction was to say to her, "I'm sorry, I don't do that," because she was very abrasive when she called me. So what I did instead was I used a disarming technique that I use frequently, which is I calmly and yet abruptly say, "Oh, sure, Alice, why don't you tell me what you're looking for?" And she basically then, which is what always happens, she basically vented to me for about 20 to 30 seconds. And at the end of it, I had a picture of what she wanted. She just wanted a logo on a vinyl banner. They have the logo. They just need it on a vinyl banner to send to the printer. They could probably just contact the printer directly. But honestly, it probably takes me 5 minutes to do, and probably 15 minutes from the point of receiving her logo to put it on the banner to have the file sent over to the printer. And she had no idea where to start, and she was very confused on the whole thing. And so I just told her I would do it. I mean, I'm not going to charge a nonprofit for something like that. I think they help kids do something. So, but regardless, but by the end of the conversation, because I used that disarming technique of asking her to tell me what she wanted, and then let her sort of go, she got to a point where she was a little more comfortable, and then I could match her intensity, because it was then just a matter of intensity. It wasn't aggressiveness. and by doing that, by the end of the conversation, she was one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to. I couldn't believe that I was talking to the same person. And I use this a lot of times when I'm just speaking with clients over the phone. I do phone consultations frequently. 50-minute 50-minute marketing plan reviews, things like that. And I always am very considerate at the very beginning of the conversation to match that person's intensity, because people like to deal with people like them. That's the fact of the matter. So if you can be like them, or if you can make them feel like you are like them, they're much more likely to feel that they know, like, and trust you. And what happens when people know, like, and trust you? They buy from you. So this is Drew Schiller with DrewSchiller.com, and I'll talk to you later.